Okay, we're back. I don't know why, but it always does that whenever I start streaming. Stream likes to go down. My bitrate just dies. Not my bitrate, my kilobytes per second, it just dies immediately when I start streaming. Not sure what it is. It's fine because I'll close OBS and then I'll open it up again and it's fine. And I have to do it at the start of stream. I don't know why though. Are you back? Hello? Hello, welcome. Am I live? I guess I am. Hello, welcome. How are you? How are you? Like, my OBS was lagging so bad. And I can't tell if it's back or not. I guess so. Maybe. Yeah. The notepad's a good idea. I use sticky notes, but I lose them because they're small. Yeah, I have a notebook. Well, I have two things. On my computer, I have like sticky notes. You know the sticky notes you put, like the app, the application on Windows? I have that pulled up. But I also have a little mini notebook that I walk around with that I have at all times. I have a pen and a notebook. And I write stuff down in there all the time. Because I'll be thinking. I used to have one by my bedside so that I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, I need to write down this idea, or I'll be out, or I'll be doing something, and I'm like, I need to write this down. Sometimes they don't make sense though, because I mean, half the time they don't make sense. And I don't remember what I was going off of when I wrote them down, but they're there. It's like, because when I'm doing work and stuff, sometimes my brain just kind of wanders, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna write this down, and I'm gonna, like, I guess, think about this later. For like the most randomest reasons. And none of these like really connect either. Like I can read one of them. It says, it's just general question. When you get sodas, what is your go-to combo, or do you stick with one soda? Like, that was my thought. Because I recently got a slushie, right? I got a slushie at the convenience store. And what I always like doing is I pick, like, I taste a couple, I'm like, shh. And I taste it, I'm like, do I like this flavor or do I not? But, and then I end up mixing them. I'm like, I'm gonna get a little bit of this one, and I'm gonna get a little bit of this one. But then I always find that I do that, I mix all these flavors together. At the end, it just tastes like sugar. There's no flavor, but I'll end up liking this, like, one specific flavor, and it's always the one I get the least of. Like, recently I got a, I made, the flavors that they had were, what was it? Dragon fruit, Coca-Cola, what was it? Blue raspberry, cherry, I believe, and I think that was it. And I really ended up liking the... Oh yeah, and there was also pina colada. I ended up really liking the dragon fruit flavor, but I didn't get that much of it. I think the dragon fruit, I was like, what the heck does dragon fruit even taste like, first of all? But it's good. But yeah, the pina colada was really overwhelming. It took over everything. Blue raspberry was good too. Blue raspberry mixed with the pina colada, really nice. But yeah, I think I gave myself way too much pina colada because it was strong. I was like, yeah, that's a lot of pina colada. Anyways. Same thing with like when I get sodas too. Like, you know, when you go to Costco and you get a soda that comes with the hot dog. That's why I like getting the hot dog at Costco. The $1.50 $1.50 meal deal at Costco. I like to mix the tea, the iced tea, the brisk iced tea with the lemonade. Because I like mixing lemonade and iced tea. I think it's really good. Also, by the way, guys, there is this one specific tea. If you guys get like a lemon black tea, oh my god, it's so nice. Like a lemon black tea, oh my god. Same thing with I think I just like lemon in general. With lemon honey water, ooh, it's so nice. It's like when you go to a there's a specific kind of restaurants you go to, right? Like a Chinese restaurant, and they're like, oh, if you have breakfast here, you get a complimentary. You get. Would you like? They give you 3 choices, right? They give you Hong Kong milk tea, by the way, not very good, don't get that. They have to do coffee, tea, like green tea, like normal Chinese tea, or they get you they get you lemon honey water. They get you lemon and honey water. And I always go for the lemon honey water because it's really, really good. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I just like lemon honey water. I'm like, yeah. But I don't know, it's really weird too because you have the lemon honey water and it's super strong. Like they steep that lemon in there and they give you 3 slices of it. But it's really good. And I feel like they don't give you enough sugar, but when you make it at home, when you make lemon honey water at home, it's really nice. I feel the need to preach about my lemon drinks. The lemon honey water, the lemon black tea. Ooh, so nice. Like, absolutely. So good. Oh, you know, off topic. I'm just going on 5 tangents. You know when you I've never tried pickling lemon slices in honey, but you know when you see in animes, they have those sports animes where the manager is like, oh, I made lemon slices with honey. I've always felt like that would taste really good because you know the Korean marmalade where they have the they take tea, right? They take tea and they put it with, oh, hi Big Wheel, how are you? They take tea and they actually no, they don't take tea. They mix like these orange, mandarin, I don't know, something slices, and then they put it with honey, and then they cut it into little thin strips, and they marmalade it, and then you can mix it with tea. Yuzu, yeah, the Korean yuzu honey thing that they make. I don't know, I don't watch sports anime. It's such a common trope. They were like, oh, haha, senpai, good luck on your sports event. Have some of this lemon thing that I made. That's what they do. Maybe I've watched too much sports anime. That, like, I just recognize that trope. It's not even a trope, it's just something that they do. Baki? Does Baki count as a sports anime? What is Baki? Is Baki the one about biking? Wait, let me look. Oh, wrestling. Boxing. It's a shonen, I guess. What is this about? Fighting. It's like boxing? What kind of fighting? Martial arts. Ooh. Martial arts. I guess so. I guess wrestling can be considered a... I guess wrestling is considered a sport, so maybe? Maybe. Who am I to say? Right? Like, WWE wrestling is considered a sport. Same thing with boxing. Boxing is in the Olympics, did you know that? Isn't that interesting? There was a lot of interesting categories in the Olympics. Like, a lot of them I don't even know that they were a sport in the first place. It's a whimsical anime. That reminds me of this one anime where they were like, oh, we're gonna put everybody in an island together and we're gonna all fight. And that's literally the premise of the entire anime. They just go on an island and they fight. Like, yeah, let's fight. We're gonna take a bunch of people, we're gonna put them in an island together, we're gonna have a battle royale. But there's a lot of them like that. I think Batum was an island, right? I'm thinking of Nanbaka. I'm thinking of Nanbaka, the anime, where they kind of just dump everybody. They're all prisoners, they're all convicts, and they were like, you know what? Here you go, guys. You know what a great thing to do with our prisoners? Just put all the problematic people on an island together, I guess. And we all know how well that goes. It gets wild though later on, Nanbaka. The plot of that anime just goes off the hinges later on because they're like, oh, we're gonna introduce angst, and then we're gonna take the main character and we're gonna drop in some of his lore. His lore backstory is that he was experimented on in his sleep, and he woke up one day with just swords for arms. Swords for arms and legs. He's essentially just Chainsaw Man, but without the head. And so his like main goal in the anime is just, I need to find out who did this to me, and I will make him pay. It's such a wild anime. If you've read the manga. Is it manga? Is it web novel? It's like a long strip format. I don't know. I guess? Very much reminds me of the anime Dororo. Do. And Baki, the MC, and his dad have an imaginary meal sitting in the middle of a park. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting scenes in animes. You're like, huh. Why? And animes where you pause in the middle and then if somebody walks in on you, you just think to yourself, man, this would be really hard to explain. Can you imagine? Okay, what is an anime that you would think would be like really difficult to explain if somebody walked in on you watching it? I guess there's a lot out there, maybe like any scene in Kill la Kill, I guess. Like they just pause, like someone walks in right in the middle of you watching Kill la Kill and like Ryoko's stripping. And like, oh no, don't worry, it's her like magical power suit. She has to wear it to get strong. And they're like, yeah, okay, sure, dude. Made in Abyss. Yeah. I've never watched Made in Abyss. What goes on in Made in Abyss? What is it about? I think, like, I always think that it's like similar to Kino's Journey, where it's like a very slow anime where they walk around and talk a lot. They explore things and they're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna go on a mature journey or something. I don't know. That's the vibes I get just looking at the art style, but I don't know. It's just an amazing storytelling, like Wonder Egg Priority. like Wonder Egg Priority or like what's it called? What's the other one called? Kill. Oh, Akanga Kill. Akanga Kill. Gore and body horror. What? I wouldn't expect that from an anime that looks so cute. I would go into that anime being like, oh, it's so nice. Look at the art style. And then you come out like, oh my god. Same thing too. I guess that's the vibes I get from Elfen Lied. You know the anime Elfen Lied? You take any scene from the later episodes and you're like, oh, so cute. Look at her. She's so like cute and her mannerisms and she's like eating or like doing something cute, right? You watch the first episode and she murders like a bunch of people and it's so gory. The first episode is so bloody. You're like, ow. I tried to watch it too. I think the first episode was wild. And then I stopped. I don't know why. I was like, I don't think the nudity was a little much. I was like, eh. That's not something that's gonna do. Right? Not that I mind nudity, but like I think it was a little much. For my, I was like, man, do I want to spend this much time just looking at that? But yeah, I watched 86 too. I watched it a couple months ago. 10 out of 10. Mecha isn't really my thing when it comes to animes, but I do think it was really good, the storytelling wise. But what really got me though, it was like there were some plot points I was like, man, what the heck's going on? Why did they do that? Like, the fact that they just kind of just stopped right in the middle of the battlefield and they're like, well, I guess we're gonna go die. We're just gonna go die, we're gonna send each other to war, and then they end up crossing into another country and then they were like, ha ha ha. Man, that's how it feels. That's how it feels being in the US. You go to another country and everyone goes like, oh my god, you're from this place? They're really messed up. Are you okay? And they didn't realize how bad it was and how peaceful it was in other countries that they were like, oh. They're like, oh my god, everyone's so nice here. You're not from the US? Where are you from? Are you from somewhere cool? Yeah, you look outside, from the outside looking in, from anywhere else in the world. You go to, I don't know, for example, Denmark, right? Denmark. They're so peaceful there, they're so nice, and then I don't know why everyone has such exaggerated ideas about the US. They're like, oh my god, is it crazy over there? Do you guys like, I don't know, do you guys ride eagles? And you're like, no. Australia, fun. I've never been. I heard it's very hot. I heard it's very hot there. I guess it would be. And you guys live in like what, 3 parts? You guys either live in Sydney, this other place, and like one other place. Because everybody else is just basically uninhabitable. That's how it feels in Canada. No one lives in like Saskatchewan. Nobody lives in the middle of nowhere. I think in the US too. Everybody lives in the cities. Nobody lives in like Ohio. Nebraska. The 5 people who live in Nebraska. They're just out there, living their best life on the farm in the middle of nowhere. Yesterday afternoon, end of spring. 29. What the heck? You guys are in spring. That's insane. I couldn't. Can you imagine being like in the middle, like on the opposite end of the world, right? You guys have Christmas in the summer for what like most of the world experiences. And then, like, watch. Watch. Me in Australia. Australia mode. I'm sorry. So, isn't that weird? I don't know. To me, that would be wild. If I were to go in, like, let's say, it's just legs. What's wrong with my legs? Nothing's wrong with my legs. If you grew up here, your seasons would be weird. I guess so, yeah. Doesn't it wild to think that for some people you might experience something your entire life? Like, let's say you grew up in, I keep thinking about like Nebraska, I don't know, Colorado, someplace with mountains, right? You grew up with mountains all your life. Imagine going to the prairies. It's flat there. There is nothing. You just look for miles and miles. You could run in a straight line. They'll still see you. You could go like 10 meters, kilometers out. They'll still see you. You can't go very far. You could go as far as you want. They'll still find you. But, and that would be wild for somebody who grew up with mountains to comprehend. They're like, what do you mean you guys don't have hills? What do you mean everything's flat? Or somebody who's lived in, I don't know, someplace really cold all their life, going to the desert. They'd be like, oh my god, it's so hot here. What is this? The sand? 80% of my country is desert. Yeah, that's what I said. A lot of part of Australia is just uninhabitable. I mean, there's a lot of parts of Australia that I think are really scary, to be honest. I just see horror stories all the time on the line where it's just like, haha, look at this cool spider I found in my house and it's the size of a dinner plate. Haha, look at the scorpions in our house. The scorpions are so bad this time of year. Haha. Isn't it so weird? I found like a frog in my toilet. 6 big cities in total. That's how it is in a lot of parts of the world. Everyone lives in like very concentrated places. That's what they call density maps. Density maps. You don't mess with the wildlife, they will be chill. Yeah. Good lesson to learn. Not a lot of people learn that. Some people learn that the hard way. You know, there's this one TikTok guy, have you ever seen? There's this one TikTok dude who... Hey everybody, today is my 139th day of being in the Everglades. I'm trying to find a big rattlesnake. Do you know that guy? And he's like going out there touching things with his bare hands and everyone in the comments is like, oh my god. He's just casually holding rattlesnakes. Casually holding rattlesnakes and water pythons like it's nothing. Or like picking up alligators. I don't use TikTok. Oh my god, that dude's famous. Like infamous on there. For just picking up wild things. Good for you. Good for you. You're not on the hellscape that is TikTok. That is addictive. I go on there once in a while. I will admit, I'm on there like maybe once in a while. Just for the sake of looking at memes that my friends send me and... because sometimes the videos on there are pretty interesting. Especially when they start talking about like interests, like specific things that I am interested in. They're like, oh, this is how you do knitting. I'm like, oh, cool. I've always wanted to learn how to knit. I want to know crochet patterns. That sounds fascinating. I'm Zoomer age with Gen Z mentality. Cool. I don't know how old that is, but fun. I think, I don't know, age and your brain can be two separate things. You know how some people say that some people just have an old mindset, right? Old, what's it called? An old soul, that's the name, that's the word. They're born with an old soul. Some people are like that, you know? They come out as a child and they're just, the way they speak and the way they act and their mannerisms, you're just like, oh man, like a 34-year-old and a 2-year-old's body, the way they speak. You got your whole life ahead of ya. Whole sport. I'm kidding. That's not bad. That's a good age. Enjoy life. I say this like I'm like 40 something years old. I'm not. I think age doesn't necessarily equate to wisdom, because I have met people who are older than me who absolutely do not know how to use anything. They're like, oh, how do you connect? How do you send an email? How do you schedule something on the computer? How do I schedule a meeting? I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. These are the people that like, oh, that debate, right? That debate and the thing where they were like, oh, they wanted to ban TikTok, right? And then the conference that they had out of it, where it was just a bunch of old people in a room talking about, they're hacking us through our Wi-Fi. How does the internet work? And it's just, it doesn't work like that. What's wrong with you guys? It's like, genuinely, are you okay? Do you need help? And like, I don't know, some people just genuinely don't want to learn. Like, I could tell people certain things, right? I'm like, oh, they ask too. How do I do this? And it's like, have you never ever thought of considering maybe you can look online. Maybe you can Google and be like, type in Google, exact same question you just asked. How do I find my IP address? What is an IP address? How do I look up an IP address? But I guess it sucks now that Google has implemented their AI whatever feature, because they are feeding people false information and some people don't bother to actually open links. Because at first it was fine, right? You could Google stuff and it would, like, you could click on the first link or it'll highlight the important information. And you're like, okay, cool. But when you go to look up something nowadays, it'll give you the AI summary, which first of all, half the time, completely incorrect. Or they'll have these AI written articles just written by bots that's just copied and pasted from another website. And sometimes it's not even correct either. It's like, where did you get this information from? This is not the original source. What the heck? And it's just filled with ads. So many ads. So their search engine kind of deteriorating, to be honest. You have to type in Reddit after the end to be like, I need a Reddit to answer my questions. I hate when a mate asks me something in a Discord call and doesn't even think of consulting internet. I guess maybe it's faster to ask. Or Maybe they want to start a conversation. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. My instinct whenever I need, like, I'll look up the dumbest things too. Because I'll be like, I just want to know. I just want to know. Like, recently I learned how manual transmissions work. Because I saw a video about driving stick shift, and I was like, well, I don't know how stick shift works, so I'm gonna look it up. I don't even know how manual transmissions work. So I looked it up and I found out and I learned how engines work. So there's a lot of people out there who just genuinely don't want to put in the effort. They just genuinely don't want to try. And you could try to teach them. You could. They just don't want to learn. And that's okay. But never, especially in like in the future, right? I guess because you're 19. In the future, don't let anybody know that you know how to do technology. Especially if you have somebody older than you who just is like that, you know? Because they will ask you to do it all the time. How do I scan this document? Can you scan this for me? Can you do this for me? Teach them. Just say, I will teach you the first 3 times. If you still don't understand, figure it out. I will print you a list. I will write you a to-do list. I will print it out. I will hang it on your desk. And never ask me this again. Because it is going to take so much effort and time out of your life to just constantly do things for somebody. It's something really simple too. They think you're a wizard. They're like, oh my god, oh my gosh, how did you like fix the printer? The documents had an error and it failed, and that's why the printer's not working. You have to open up the thing and cancel all the documents so that the other ones can go through and print. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're so smart. No, I'm not. It's just you're really tech illiterate. I would just say no if I know that they forgot how. I am willing to give people at least 3 chances, okay? If they genuinely don't know how to do something the first time, I'll teach them. If they forget the second time, whatever. If they continuously do it and you know that they're doing it on purpose because they just want somebody to do it for them, that's when you just have to put your foot down and be like, no. You're on your own, buddy. I taught you the first 3 times. Thank you for the follow. But that's just how it be. Like they said, right? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And it's very true. Absolutely. Like, some people just don't read. Some people just don't use their eyes. And I've had this conversation multiple times with people where they just like, yo, sometimes you make me feel stupid. And I say, I just don't say anything, I just look at them. I'm like, what do you think? They're like, oh, haha, it was so obvious, it was right there, you're so smart. Like, what the heck? Anyways, back to my lists that I was talking about. I think I was talking about soda earlier. I honestly forgot what I was talking about. You know, oh, I was talking about oh, lemon. I'm talking about lemons. Lemon juice. Lemon and honey. Really, really nice pairing. Really, really good, actually. Highly recommend. Let me scooch over a little. Beep. There we go. I'm like more in the center of my bed. There we go. Not like off to the side. You know, when you sleep, when you sleep, do you sleep like on your back? Do you sleep on your side? Do you sleep like on your stomach? I used to sleep on my stomach and it was so comfortable. Absolutely. I used to sleep like this. I would sleep on my stomach. I would put one arm under my pillow and I would put my head on my arm underneath the pillow, right? Turn my head to the side, opposite to where my arm was, and then I would like put my knee out to the side. So I'm kind of like splayed out like that. And then I would have like a little pillow or a stuffed animal in my other arm, and I would put it near my face. And I would just sleep like that. It was so comfortable. Unfortunately, I move around in my sleep, so I would always wake up in the morning to like stuff on the floor. Nowadays, I try to sleep on my back because it's better for you technically. Like posture-wise and breathing-wise and, you know, your face-wise, your skin. So I try to sleep on my back, but I sometimes wake up in the morning and I find myself like on the side or something. And I don't even remember how we got there. Man, it is so comfortable sleeping on your back, on your what, stomach? It's so comfy. I like to sleep on my back and I hold like a pillow in my arms, like crossed in front of me, both hands just hugging it on my back. I used to sleep like that. Well, I still sleep like that. I try to, at least. Sometimes I wake up with the pillow on the floor though, and I'm kind of sad. I'm like, oh. I have this little mini pillow that's like a little dog. It's got like a dog head just sticking out of it, like a husky. Very comfortable actually to use as a prop and to hug. I like my tiny little pillows, but I would sleep with that in my arms and I would wake up in the morning and it'd be on the floor. I'm like, oh no. My dog pillow's on the floor again. You ever had those feelings too when you drop all your stuffed animals off the side of the bed and you're like, no. I always get like that. I'm like, oh my god, where'd it go? And I look at the floor, I look at the side of the bed, and it's like wedged between the wall and the bed. You're like, oh. Do you sleep with stuffed animals? I don't got any plushies? How could you? How could you be 19 and not own any plushies? How could you? You don't own any plushies? They're so nice to have. You get to the point where you have so many plushies that they take up what? A third of your bed, and you're just hanging off the edge because you got so many plushies. That's the life, you know. That's the life. You got all your plushies in a little pile along the side of the bed, and you're like, well, they're taking up like more room on the bed than I am. I have so many plushies that I have to like keep a bunch of them in boxes because if I put them all on the bed, they wouldn't fit. Actually, I have one, a giant penguin that sits in my spare chair. Nice. That's nice. I have a giant pillow dolphin. It's like a pillow pet, right? I have a giant pillow dolphin. I have my two little mini pillows. One I hug, that's like a dog, and the other one is like a Miffy. And then I have a lobster plushie, I have a bunny plushie, I have like 2 bunny plushies, I have a duck plushie. And I think that's it. That's pretty much, that's all my plushies that I have on my bed specifically. When it comes to like the other animals that I have way too many. I used to have a shelf where I put all my plushies just sitting on the shelf. But then I moved and I don't have the shelf anymore, so everyone's just in boxes. Sad. I don't even buy plushies too. They're all gifts from when I was younger, so they hold sentimental value really. Even though I look at them, I'm like, they're not soft, they're not that cute, they're not my favorites, but they were gifted to me by, you know, family and stuff, so I have to keep them. They're nice though. I look at them like, yeah. I know specifically which ones these are from. Or like where they're from. That's real, although I won mine from a giant claw machine. Ooh, I have never won a prize from a claw machine. I go to arcades. I stare longingly. I press my hand to the glass and I stare longingly. I press my forehead in my hand. I press both hands and my forehead to the glass and I stare at the thing and I'm like, ooh. And I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna win that. I know there's like a secret technique to it, right? There's like a specific technique. I've seen videos online. They're like, how to win at claw machines. You like the double tap method, or you try to pick up things by the edges and try to like move it closer to the edge. That I could never. At that point, in my opinion, at that point, I might as well just buy a plushie online or just from a store, right? Because at that point, the claw machine plushie, however much you spend on it, is gonna cost way more than it was actually like worth. But if it's for the fun of it, like if you're out with friends, it's fine. But just try. Ooh, the ones with candy. Like, when you go to the arcade, right, they have like some machines with like tickets and candy inside. Those ones I like. Or the ones that you put in coins. Like it's not pachinko. You put in the coins and it like pushes them forward and it falls down and then it continues pushing coins forward and you try to get them to like topple over the side so you can get more coins. Fun story, I was at an arcade with like a friend and we were like looking at that machine and they ended up like tipping the machine forward and then a bunch of coins fell out. It was like quarters. We ended up getting a lot of tokens. Fun. Although my favorite game at arcades is always the I really like, there's this specific thing. It's like a roulette wheel. You pull it down. I think specifically the game is called like Big Fish, whatever. You pull it down and it's like the wheel. It's cheating. Look, if no one's watching, it's not. If no one's watching and you get away with it, it's not cheating. It's like a big roulette wheel, I guess. Is it like Wheel of Fortune? No, not Wheel of Fortune. It's the Price is Right wheel, Deal or No Deal. You know the thing where they spin and it goes like vertical and it goes down? That kind of wheel. Those are fun. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me and my luck, because I like to pull it and I just watch it go and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of tickets. I don't know. Or yeah. Or I'm trying to remember what other kind of like games there are at arcades. I like the foosball. Not foosball. What is it called when you, skee ball, where you roll a ball up a little ramp and you put it in holes. Or the racing games that like jerk you around a lot. Those games I find really hard to steer because you're driving and I'll crash into a wall and I go backwards. I'm like, oh man. They're really hard to steer. absolutely inaccurate how you drive. But they're fun. What's that other game? I never really went for the shooter kind of games, you know, the ones where you like shoot zombies. Mainly because my aim just sucks. You gotta constantly. How do you drift in a car? I don't know how to drift. I genuinely. Is it like when sorry. When you drift, do you press on the gas and the gas and the brake at the same time? By the way, I think I drive in the most diabolical way. Sometimes when I'm in traffic, I'll put both feet on both pedals. I'll put my right foot on the gas and I'll put my left foot on the brake, and I'll just go like back and forth like that. I'll be like, wait, 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 wait. It's nice for traffic because that means I don't have to constantly lift my foot back and forth. But there has been times where I've accidentally messed up like inputs and been like, I just pressed both at the same time and I'm like, what? And your car makes a weird noise, you're like, wah. I wouldn't I wouldn't recommend that, but that is something I've done before. While accelerating, you either use the handbrake or pedal brake while turning. Ooh. Hi, Zarza. While accelerating, you use the handbrake or pedal brake while turning. I cannot comprehend that. That's how you take a screenshot. Yeah, that's how you take a screenshot in a car. It's a secret life hack, everybody. If you press the gas and the brakes at the same time in a car and you have a black box, it takes a picture. It takes a picture with the black box with the dash cam. Huh. Accelerating, you use the brake while turning. Guys, can you change to neutral while you're driving, and what happens if you do? Like, I guess it just takes it off of the wheels, right? It just takes the gear off. So if you're driving and then let's say you were like, is that how you make donuts? Is that how you make donuts? You drive, you yank the steering wheel all the way to the left, and then you press the brake, and you shift the car to neutral, and you go, Wee! You floor and yank the steering wheel as you take a curve. You don't need the handbrake unless you're doing a hairpin or just suck. Huh. I've always seen, like, in movies where they do like those cool driving maneuvers and they're like, they turn around in like really narrow alleyways and they completely like flip the car around and they like slide a little. I've always wondered how they do those. Nothing will happen? On neutral? What if I drive, like, let's say I'm driving straight, right? And I press on the gas really, really hard. And then I put the car in neutral and then I turn the steering wheel really, really hard. What will happen? Nothing? I just slide. I just drift. I will just turn in a big circle. How fast do I have to go to turn to like tip the car over? Cause that's like one of my main fears on a highway. Like, when you're driving and you like go around a curve really, really fast and you kind of feel yourself going like, woo. It's like one of my main fears. Like, if I go too fast around a corner, will the car just fly sideways? Like, will the car just tip? Or is there just too much weight centered that is not going to do that? What kind of car do you drive? I drive like a normal car, like a little mini, not a mini car, it's a I don't even know how to describe it. Like a... The Subaru. Neutral disconnects the engine from the wheel, so it'd be the same if you press the throttle. Oh. I guess it just prevents you from pressing on the gas even more. That's like one of my main fears. I was like, man, if I go around this curve too fast, am I gonna like tip the car? I know in trucks it's an issue because of the weight, but like, you know, cars, it's a little hard to brake and to start. I don't have my regular cars though. I don't have a license. I recommend getting one. It's really good to have one, even if you don't drive. Everybody should get a license. I recommend. Because that way they look at your driving history, and if you ever decide to get a car in the future, they'd be like, wow, you've had a license for this long. Even though you never drove, but they don't really care about driving history, they just care about how long you've had a license. So it's good for insurance purposes. Also, it's good to have some form of photo ID. Tipping over the car usually happens if you're not smooth with the steering wheel. Really? Like if I drive really, really fast and I like press the brakes really hard and I also tilt the steering wheel at the same time, is that will tip my car? Like if I go really, really fast and then I press the brakes and then I turn the car at the same time, will that flip my car? Will I do a somersault? Will my car go like this? Probably not, but you're gonna die anyway. How? Is the car gonna explode? Like, what's gonna happen? Or I'm just gonna crash? Like, what if I do it in a big empty parking lot? What if I do it in like a big parking lot? Right? I spin. But do you mean on the roof? No, I'm wearing a seatbelt. What do you mean? No, like, can I do like a somersault in a car? Like with the car specifically, like with the car. Is that possible? Is that a thing? Flip the car into its side? Huh. I know if you go into like a curb that can happen, but that's if you're not on flat ground. What is a somersault? You don't know what a somersault is? Oh, maybe that's like an English term. A somersault is, I cannot demonstrate. When you go on your hands, let's say you're facing forward, right? You're standing. You crouch down, you put both hands on the ground, you take your head, you put it between your knees on the floor, and then you roll forward. You roll forward. Dark Souls roll, I guess, yes. That is a somersault. It's a forward roll, yes. It's like a dodge in games. You roll on the ground. Sometimes you roll over your shoulder. No, but that's what you're supposed to do in a normal somersault. I wouldn't recommend doing it on your head though, not on your neck. That's dangerous, but you're technically supposed to roll forward with the shoulder. Otherwise, you can very badly hurt your neck. You're not gonna tip over your car like that? I guess so, because your car is a little too heavy in the front. But like, can you roll your car like that? Can you roll it? If you do that, or no? That's just not gonna happen. Like, your car will just stop. Like, I just want to know how like what goes into like flipping a car. Like going too fast, or is it just driving on a ramp and then tilting over, or going down a really windy overpass too fast? I don't know. Never happened to me before, but I just want to know, just Just for future reference, you know? It like one of my main fears when driving is like, if I go around this curve too fast, am I gonna am I gonna tip over, you know? Like, how am I gonna know if I flip the car? Or do the action movies just exaggerate it way too much? Where they're like, oh, I'm gonna drive, hop in, and then they see a ramp from this truck that's like the big trucks that hold other cars, right? That hold other little cars on it, and they stack them in like little the top floor and the double-decker car stacker, right? And they drive onto the thing and they ramp and they drive it with a normal like SUV car and they go flying. Is that possible? Is that realistic? I don't know. I need to watch, I don't know, Mythbusters. If you're driving on a slope that leans toward the outside of the curve, I guess it's easier, but it's not common to flip a car like that. Then why the heck, whenever I drive on like the highway, there's always like maybe once a month, I always see just a car on its side. Why? How do the cars end up upside down? Like, what is happening? Why do cars flip upside down? I would assume it's heavier on the bottom than it is on the top, so how do you roll a car? On a curve? I don't know where, but they're just cars. Upside down, or on its side. And it's not big trucks too, they're like normal cars, just upside down. It was like, did they get into an accident? Did they hit another car? And then the car just pushed them upside down? I don't know. Cars mostly flip because people build inertia trying to correct. I guess maybe. I can't, like, I know it's because that happens, but I can't imagine like what are the factors that go into that happening. Like, how? I would have to see, I need to see it happen in front of me, to be honest. I feel like you go over a speed bump too fast. You know, you go over a speed bump too fast and your car flies a little bit and you're like, woohoo! You know? But on the highway, where it's mostly flat, how? Very strange. Genuinely, I do not know. Anyways, how was your guys's how was your guys' holiday? Not holiday. Holiday from me. I'm kidding. Your Halloween. Did you guys do anything fun? Did you have a nice vacation? From me. You basically bounce your car from side to side until suspension bottoms up, wheels lock, and all of a sudden your car is going sideways. And the friction on the wheels is magnitudes higher than normal. Oh, interesting. How? You gotta be like a really interesting driver for that to happen, I guess. Maybe if you're driving in like a forest or something, but I don't know. Genuinely, like, never happened to me. I think that would just be a freak accident. Extremely unusual car situations, I guess. You know, guys, I bought the game Homicipher. The full version of Homicipher came out and I bought it. I was like, yeah! Ghost Atoma dating sim, woohoo! Where we don't know the language. I played the demo. I played the demo and it was really fun. So I got the full game. It came out November 1st. Very exciting. I was thinking to myself, I was like, I have so many streams where I just end up doing like talking. And I'm like, man, I never play games. And like, I want to play more games. I have all these games and I never play them, but I'm like, man, what game should I play? I don't know. Because games take a long time. And then I have a bad habit of, I go in to play a game, right? And then I look at the clock and I'm like, it's been 4 hours. I'm barely a puzzle streamer anymore. Look, watch. Watch. What do I want to do? Look. I have this game. I spun the roulette wheel, you know? I spun the wheel and I have received the prophecy has told me. It said play Deponia as a point and click game. And I was like, okay, how long is this game? 11 hours. It's an 11-hour. It's so long. Anyways, here's my puzzle. Like, watch. Look. Ooh, puzzle. Isn't that cool? Like, I just... Whee! They're puzzles. If you ever wonder what I do on these streams, or I just talk, I have this in the background. Very fun. I just talk and I do puzzle at the same time. I wanted to, there's this game, right? Web fishing. I kind of wanted to get it. Really? No, actually, this is for today. Sometimes I just sit here and I talk like straight at the camera. I actually just stare at the screen. Genuinely, like, I'm not kidding. I will just sit here and like just do nothing else but just stare at myself on OBS, and that's it. So once in a while I will do something else like in the background, but when I do just chatting streams like this, I'm actually just sitting here staring at nothing. I stare at myself. I'm like, man, I'm so cute. I think that to myself sometimes. I'm like, man, this is so fun. So me. Yeah, I stare at myself. You ever just, you know, you just gotta indulge in a little narcissism as a treat. Once in a while. Once in a while is healthy. You don't want to stare at yourself all the time. Like, if you walk by a reflective surface and you, like, say it all the time, that, you know, narcissist. Narcissus. Narcissus. Is that you? But, you know, once in a while you look at yourself like, man, I look really nice today. That's fine. It's called self-confidence. To just be like, yeah. Sometimes I look at the mirror, I'm like, who is that ugly? They balance it out, I guess, yeah. You know, you have periods of time where you wake up and you're like, man, I look horrible. And then you have other times where you wake up and you're like, wow, I look really cute today. I don't know why. Very weird experience. You're like, man, I feel like I look the same, but at the same time, I don't look the same. You wake up and you're like, what's wrong with my face today? And genuinely, I can't tell what it is. It's like something's off, you know? Something's off about my face and I don't know what it is. Anyways, for Halloween, I went to a party and I had tried Jello shots for the first time and they tasted horrible. Absolutely like the worst thing ever. I don't know why I kept eating it, but I did. They just kept offering them to me. They were like, would you like another Jello shot? And I said, sure. Didn't make it taste better. They were strawberry tequila Jello shots in a little syringe, so I think the method of eating just made it fun for me. But then they also had these like little mini Jello cups in like a little plastic container that was lime and vodka flavored, and those did not taste good. Those were bad. And I was like, you know what? What if I put the lime jelly inside this syringe? Will that make it fun? And no, it did not. Did not taste good. It was bad. So anyway, future reference for people, don't try Jello shots. Not good. They don't taste good. Like, nothing about the Jello masks the flavor of what's it called? Alcohol. I was about to say strawberry sounded horrible. Like lime and vodka. Lime and vodka is sour. It's like it was sour and bitter at the same time. It was strange. It was sour, especially like it was just ugh. Like the face I made when I had it, I was like ugh. That's sour as heck. Super sour. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, not sorry, but like they just genuinely were not good. You make it sweet and put some powdered sugar? Powdered sugar on Jello shots? What? What? Like, I get whipped cream and stuff, but powdered sugar? What? What? Where are you from? What kind of combination is that? I mean, oh, so you like put more Jello than vodka. Like your ratio of vodka to alcohol. Your ratio of vodka to alcohol is what? 50 to like 100? Something like that? No, 50 to, no, 70% Jello and 25% alcohol, right? No, the ones that they were serving at this party was like 85% alcohol, to the point where the liquid, the Jello, was a suggestion. The Jello was a suggestion. It was liquid. Like, some of it was just watery Jello. It was falling apart. It was barely Jello. Then just have normal shots. I know, but I didn't make them. I was not making them. It was the organizers who did, and they were passing them around in buckets. And then I tried one of each. I was like, you know what? Sure, I'll have one. Not good. Ooh, you know what like a nice taste. One drink that I've always wanted to try, right? There's a lot of drinks. Like, I read a lot of cooking manga, and then some of the specific genres of cooking manga is like bars, right? Bartender or the sleepy barmaid, or what is that other one where it's like the girl, she likes drinking and then she's like really strict at work and then she comes home and then she's like, ooh, I'm gonna have a nice drink, and then she makes different cocktails every time. It's her hobby. That's a really nice anime. Or not anime, manga. And they tell you the recipes of the different recipes that she tries, and I gotta say, some of them I really want to try. Like, I'm not too big on alcohol and like drinking, but I do want to try making some things because I think it looks good. Sounds like my alcoholic mom. It's really cute. She's like married with her husband, and the whole plot is that she's like really strict at the office. She's like a supervisor, and she wears her hair up in a bun and she wears glasses and she's like super strict and everyone's really scared of her. And then when she gets home, she like, it literally every single chapter it starts like this. She's like, I get home from work, I take down my hair, and she goes, wow. And then she like grabs the alcohol glass and she starts mixing. She's like, today I want something sweet. And then she starts like mixing together things, and then she gets her glass and she drinks it and she's like, yummy. That's literally like every single episode. That's how it goes. But it makes it look so good. I was like, man, I want to try that. Anyways, there is my go-to drink at the bar. I was talking about this on the Discord, where my go-to drink at bars, right, is a Bloody Caesar. I don't know why, I just like Bloody Caesar. Bloody Caesar, if you guys didn't know, is the Canadian version of a Bloody Mary. But instead of tomato juice, V8, instead of tomato juice, it's clamato. So it's clam juice and tomato. It's so good. Like, Bloody Marys taste kind of plain once you've had a Bloody Caesar, because the clam juice adds some saltiness to it. It's like, instead of the celery salt, it's got like a little clam in it. It's like drinking tomato soup with seafood. It's so good. It's like cold tomato soup. Anyways, if you wanted a drink that is an actual soup, I would go and order a bullshot. There is a type of drink called a bullshot, and it's literally just beef broth and soup, like rum. They put beef broth and I think alcohol, and they mix it together. They like cook some beef broth on the stove. They heat it up literally, and then they pour some alcohol into it, and they're like, here you go, and they serve it in a mug, and it's called a bullshot. It's literally just soup. It's literally just beef broth, soup, in a cup. And that's something I want to try. Like, maybe it'd be good. I like soup. I think soup alcohol drink would be good. But that's just me. I just want the soup alcohol drink. Also, there is like a Bloody Caesar kind of variation of it. It's called a Bloody Bowl. So it's basically the same thing, where they take the beef broth, they take a beef bouillon cube, yeah, the alcoholic take, and they mix it with tomato juice. So it's like a tomato soup with alcohol and beef. Don't you think that would be good? Don't you think that would taste good? I think it would. I want to try that. It's basically just a beef stew without any ingredients. It's just the soup. It's just the soup and the liquid, that's it. Somebody out there was like, yeah, you know what? Man, I want dinner. I'm like, I feel like having something, but I don't want to eat something that much. I just want to drink. I just want to drink alcohol. And then they came up with that drink. They're like, you know what? We're just gonna put soup, and we're gonna put alcohol in this soup, and only alcohol. Nothing else. It's so good. I've never tried it before, but that's something that I want to try. But unfortunately, all the bars that I go to are like those little like teeny bars where you go and they're like, oh no, sorry, we don't have cocktails here. I went to a bar and I tried to order a grasshopper. And a grasshopper, guys, is a cream de menthe, heavy cream, and I believe Irish Bailey's Irish cream, which is like an alcoholic cream kind of alcohol liquor. Literally, that is it. And then they put it in layers. You can either have it pousse de cafon style, where they I probably pronounced that really bad. Sorry. They put it in layers, or they can mix it together depending on what you ask for. So it creates little layers of the white and the green, and it's really pretty. And then they sprinkle on top like little chocolate shavings and stuff, and it's a dessert drink. And I've always wanted to try it. I wanted to order at a bar and stuff, but every single time I go and try to order something at a bar, they're always like, oh, we don't make cocktails here. We can get you... The most a cocktail we will make is... like, they won't even make a Shirley Temple. They're like, oh, we have an open bar. I go and I order something and they're like, no, we don't have that. I'm like, oh. I'm so sad. The only thing they'll make is a rum and coke. And I don't like rum and cokes. They'll make, I don't know why, but they'll also make, like, they will, out of all the cocktails, they'll like, yeah, we'll make a Bloody Mary, we'll make a Bloody Caesar, but I'm like, you won't make, like, anything else, like, no Shirley Temples, what the heck? They're like, yeah, sorry, we don't carry juice. We don't make, we don't carry fruit juices here. But they carry tomato juice, I guess. Maybe I'm going to the wrong bars. I think I'm just going to the wrong bars. I think I'm going to the wrong places. You know, there's a specific bar in Tomato is different. It is. That is true. There is a bar in Japan where if you bring a card, they will make a drink based off of that card. Based off of a playing card, based off of the aesthetics of the card. And they're really pretty too. If you look online, I forgot the name of the bar, but really cool. I'm not sure if they offer that service anymore because it was like viral on social media for a little bit, and they might have stopped doing that because they got super busy, but that was something that they did. They would make like cute little drinks. Not sure about the taste, but it was pretty. Ooh, something I used to do too, like I like watching cooking videos and stuff, so I get recommended these videos where people make drinks, like little aesthetic drinks in the pretty little clear cup glasses, and then they make tea and then they pour milk into it or coffee, and then they put like really colorful cool ice cubes in their drink that like have flowers inside it, or they're like shaped like little bears, and you're like, oh my gosh, this drink looks like it'll taste really good, but I know it just tastes like water, but it's really pretty to look at. And they always use the same ingredients too. They're like, oh, I take this butterfly pea flower and I brew it in hot water, and then I add coconut milk, and then I squeeze lemon juice in there to make it purple. And then I take matcha and then I blend it with foam, and then I pour it on top, and you're like, wow, layers. And then you're like, I don't know how well that would taste because it's lemon juice, butterfly pea flower, which tastes like nothing, and milk, and matcha. Isn't that interesting? It's for aesthetics. It's not for like drinking purposes, I guess. I've always wondered how that would taste. Just like, is it really good or is it just pretty? Some foods are like that, you know, where it's like it's really pretty to look at, but when you eat it, you're like, ooh. There's a candy called what's it called? No, that's kintsugi. That's the pottery. Kohaku. There is a type of Japanese candy called kohaku where they take agar, they mix it with sugar, they color it, and then they let it dry, and they cut it up into little pieces, right? They cut it up into little pieces, and then they leave it outside so that the agar and the sugar crystallizes on the outside, and it forms like a harder outer shell, and they get really, really hard. You leave it out for like a couple days, or you can put it in the dehydrator, and it forms like this, like they almost look like crystals. They're like edible crystals, and they, as someone who has made agar jelly and stuff, they do not taste good. It literally just tastes like sugar. And like really bland, and then the texture isn't great. It's not even like a gummy, it's like a hard, like flaky, like an outer crunchy layer and a flaky gummy jelly. Like not the most satisfying thing. Have you ever had fruit gels? You know what, like fruit what are they called? Fruit gummies? Fruit gels? They're like fruit slices, right? That specific candy that you get at the bulk store. Those candies, it tastes like that. So they look really, really pretty, but they don't taste very good. What did I miss? I went out for a second. I'm talking about kohaku, the Japanese agar sugar crystal candy. That I'm talking about foods that look good but don't taste good. You know when something's like really pretty and aesthetic, but then you like try it and you're like, eh, it's not the best. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's like okay. I mean, there's places they've tried. There was a period of time online where they went viral for a little bit, and they were like, oh, they're so pretty, and then there was these places selling like gourmet crystal, like sugar crystal candy with like, they would flavor them so at least they didn't just taste like straight up sugar and food coloring. They would try to flavor them, but like honestly, I don't know how much flavor you can put in those things. The texture is just not good. They're vegan. They're gluten free. They're vegan, they're gluten free because it's literally just sugar and water and flavoring, but I don't know. It is just sugar and water. So the fact that people were selling those is just wild. You can make those at home. If I ever do a cooking stream, I will make those. I want to make sugar rock candy. I want to make rock candy. I tried once a long time ago and I failed because it ended up growing across the top instead of along the stick. I don't know what happened there, but it did. So I want to try making sugar crystals. I love edible science. Edible science is fun. Cooking! Right? Fun. Oh my god, this looks like an army of puzzle pieces. Whoa, I can't even remember the last time I tried making something. No, I do. What did I make? I made a cake, but I have been looking online for recipes and I want to try making milk bread. Or mini cupcakes. There's like milk bread and mini cupcakes. I want to make like Japanese milk bread. I'm not sure how hard it is to make though. It's like powdered sugar, No, powdered milk, some kind of special yeast, and something. I forgot what the recipe was, but I know that if I try making it, I'm probably gonna fail. But I'll do it anyway. I'll try. It's so funny because every, like, usually for once in a while I like to make a sponge cake, like you know those Japanese strawberry shortcake sponge cakes. Once in a while I will attempt making it and I will fail every single time. I have never gotten that cake to turn out right. The first time ever I have made that cake, it turned a liquid. It turned a liquid in the oven. I pulled it out of the oven and the thing was just, it was just a puddle and I don't know what happened. Sponge cake square bob, yeah. I don't know what happened. It was just a weird, what kind of cake? It was a vanilla, what's it called? A vanilla sponge cake. I tried making a chiffon cake. It melted, it disintegrated, it turned to a puddle in the oven. I pulled it out and I was like, oh my god, what happened to this? Very weird. Hi Elon, how are you? How? I think I read the recipe wrong, but the recipe called for 4 sticks of butter. And I was like, okay, I didn't question it. And I think too much butter. It just melted in the oven. Did I use water instead of flour? No. I think I put too much butter or something. See, the thing is when it comes to like following instructions, I think I follow instructions a little too well. Because I don't read, it just says, oh yeah, put this thing in the oven. I'm like, okay. Follow the instructions, but then I guess I misread it or something because maybe the like half the butter I was supposed to use instead of in the cake I was supposed to use for icing. Who knows? Doing okay, working on a couple interviews. Ooh, fun. Do you have, like, in your opinion, like, do you have a favorite interview? How big was the cake supposed to be? Like, you know, like a normal sheet cake pan size? You know, like normal cake size, like a whole sheet. I didn't really split it up into multiple. Yours, of course. Oh man. Of course. Spoken like a well-trained interviewer. I see your years of radio has paid off. I'm kidding. It sounds like too much butter. Honestly, I think so too. Yeah. Not... It didn't go well, no. I don't even know what happened to it afterwards. I think I threw it out. Which makes me sad, because I don't like seeing food waste. And like, whenever recipes fail, right, I always try to repurpose it in something else, but there are some things that you just cannot salvage. Like, at that point, that cake was just too far gone. I was like, oh man. What are you supposed to do with it at that point? Like, I can't eat it. Oh, also really fun unhinged tip, like off topic, by the way. Off topic. If you want to... Are you sick? Are you sick and tired of... Infomercial time. Are you sick and tired of using chapstick? Are you constantly irritated by your lips being dry? You know what you should do? Put butter on your lips. Grab butter out of the fridge, carry around with you in your bag, just smear it on your lips like chapstick. People might think you're unhinged, but it works. Carry around Crisco. Carry around a thing of Crisco. Use it like chapstick. Fill your chapstick tube container with Crisco. Works like a charm. Are you? Are you sick or tired of artificial chapstick? Do you want the natural stuff? Try butter. People will be wondering, man, what is that delicious smell coming from your lips? It's all natural, baby. It's all natural Crisco. I do recommend highly that everybody try it. I think it's great. Maybe a little inconvenient to carry around. I have 9 cats, not an option. Oh man, do your cats like butter? I think they deserve a little butter as a treat. Maybe they deserve a little butter as a treat. Why would you do them a disservice? You're depriving them of... You're depriving them of like the joy in life of enjoying butter. Don't you get those cocoa sticks over there? What? What is a cocoa stick? What is a cocoa stick? Is it like, that is a lot of cats. I want a cat. Cocoa butter. What is a cocoa butter? What is a cocoa butter? Like, are you talking about the, like, candy, or? I have no idea. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. 2 indoor and 7 strays that adopted us. Aww. The cat distribution service. I want a cat. I've always wanted a cat, but currently I live with my parents and my mom is allergic, so no cats for me. It's chapstick made of cocoa butter. Oh! Yeah. I mean, they do use beeswax and stuff for in like chapsticks and stuff. They use beeswax, they use like shea butter, cocoa butter, coconut oil, all sorts of things. Al naturel, baby. But no, I'm talking about like straight up, like not mixing it with anything else. Just have it straight up, have it raw. Nothing else, just no other mixing. You don't need like, you know, they always mix it with petroleum to make it solid and stuff. No, carry it around in its raw, pure form. Just pull a butter, just a stick of butter out of your bag. And then they'll be like, haha, are you ready to go to the barbecue cookout with that butter? And you're like, no, it's for my lips. Cause, you know, I find using chapstick dries your lips out more, and you apply more of it and it just dries your lips out more, and you use more of it, and it's just like it's like a cycle. To fix it, you just put oil, just smear butter on your lips. Just plain oil, easy. Or Vaseline, you know, whatever works. Or if you don't like the feeling of Vaseline, I do think oil works. Like just pour some oil in your hand, rub it on your face. Rub it on your hands, makes you nice and greasy. Ready for cooking. 10 out of 10. This is like, it's like half joking, but also like half genuine advice, because I do think it works. I don't want to be cooked though. No, but like, don't you ever want to? Don't you I feel like you know the witch in Hansel and Gretel. Don't you ever want to like, you know, take a bath in hot water and like go in a sauna in my oven? You know, like a nice hot bath. Nice hot bath. And then you can cover yourself in butter and herbs and just take a little swim, you know? Don't you ever just want to do that? Wouldn't that be fun, right? I think that'd be great. Can you imagine like going like to somebody's house? I know, right? Yeah, why don't you like lie down over here? Just lie down, close your eyes, and oh, don't mind the knife. Don't mind the knife, I'm just cooking over here. Yeah, we're just gonna chop up some vegetables. What's the main dish, you ask? Oh, what did you like to know? Yeah. What did you like to know? What did you like to know, weather boy? Yeah, exfoliation. It's like an exfoliant. It's just my home blend. My home blend, it just smells really nice of like hickory. Makes you smell like a makes you smell like Thanksgiving dinner. Don't worry about it. I think that would have been like the weirdest thing to ever like. Have you did that to somebody? Like, genuinely, I think they would just run away. First date idea, guys. First date idea. Like, imagine inviting someone over to your house and be like, oh, haha, I'm gonna make a nice dinner for the both of us. I just want you to try my cooking. And it's the whole, like, you know, in anime where they're like, would you like a bath? Or would you like dinner? Or would you like me? But instead of me, it's you. I want to see like that like I need to do that one of these days. One of these days, guys. Bucket list plan. Bucket list plan. I'm gonna write this down. I will write it down. I'll come back to this later. I'll think about it. Especially tenderized today. Yeah, I'll do a flip. Look, watch. Whee! Wow. Feels muscles. Wow. Have you been working out? Hmm. You look absolutely delicious today. Can you imagine going on a date with like a cannibal and then all the things they say are like things that are like borderline sus? Wow, you look absolutely scrumptious today. You just smell so nice. Have you been working out? Your muscles just feel so tender. You would just be absolutely perfect in a stew. What is your skincare routine? Can I help with that? I will gift you some of my specialty blend. I will give you some oils to take a bath with. Can you rub yourself in this before dinner today? And then they'd just be like, yeah. Like, man, I don't know why, like, this person that I'm seeing just keeps asking me about these, like, weird things. It's like a horror story at this point. A red flag. Red flag when your date asks you and invites you to a cabin in the woods and just will not stop talking about how much they want to eat you, but your think is just like, you just think they're really bad at flirting. You're like, ah, babe, you're so funny. That just like, you know, it could be a kink, right? It could be a kink, but it also could be just like you can't tell, right? You're like, is this, are they just being like genuinely, is this like a kink of theirs, or is it just, do they really want to eat you? Because that is a thing, you know, like some people do have fantasies about being eaten. Which is weird, which is a weird thing to talk about. Or like think about. Definitely a thought there. But you know, who are we to judge? Do what you will. Some people like wearing hooves. I'm not going into any cabin in the middle of the woods. I want to get murdered somewhere creative. But what do you mean? I think the cabin is one of the most creative places you could ever die. You don't think being murdered in the woods is like creative? Like, don't you ever want to like... Okay, guys. Oops. I'm gonna pause it go. Guys. It's cliche? No, it's not. Look. POV. Everybody, you gotta close your eyes. Imagine you get an invitation on a really fancy letter, right? You get an invitation on a very fancy letter, and they're like, come to this location in the woods, and I will invite you on a romantic dinner date in my cabin in the woods, alone, just you and I. Right? You go. They put drugs in your food. You wake up. You wake up in a chair, and they stand in front of you, and with a shotgun and their 2 dogs, and they go, welcome. We are going to play a little game. We're gonna play a game. I am going to release you, and I'm going to give you a head start of 10 minutes. And we're gonna play a game of tag. And I'm gonna release you. I'm gonna have you run, escape into the woods, and you're gonna try to escape. And then after 10 minutes, I'm gonna release the dogs after you, and I'm gonna come after you with this gun. I'm gonna come after you, and then if I find you, we're gonna have some fun together, you know? Woohoo, fun! We're gonna have a fun time. And if you manage to escape, well, I guess that means you won, right? Yay, congratulations. But, you know, you just gotta try. you gotta try your best to, you know, it's a fun game, right? Or murder mystery game, right? They put you in their basement, and it's like it's basically an escape game. It's an escape room at this point, right? They lock you in their basement in the cabin in the middle of the woods, and then they put little clues around for you to find, and like find the hints in their lock boxes. Fun date idea, guys. Fun date idea. Invite somebody out to the middle of the woods, and then just, you know, when they wake up, just wake up in the middle of the night, right? You go to bed together, right? You get up. You're like, good night, I'm going to bed. You wake up in the middle of the night, you lock their room, and then you put a bunch of like little clues and stuff together for them in like the boxes. You're like, oh, this is so romantic, they're gonna find my surprise in the morning. They wake up, they're locked in the room. You're like, you leave a little note on their pillow. You leave a little note on their pillow on the bedside table, and it says like, I have locked you in this cabin. You must try to find and escape. I have left clues around this house for you to find the key so that you can escape. Romantic dinner date, guys. Just you and I in a gray legal area. How exciting. Just the two of us trapped in this intimate dwelling far away from any law enforcers. How romantic. Exactly. You gotta put it into perspective, you know? Gotta put into perspective. Wow, how amazing. I woke up. I'm locked in this cabin. But don't worry. Don't worry, my romantic partner has left me a bunch of clues for me to find as a little scavenger hunt. I love hints. I love puzzles. Wow, so amazing. So fun. Can you imagine, right? Like, wow, this is so fun. Oh, shucks. My partner. Can you imagine dating a serial killer? Oh man, my partner is so funny. They locked me in this cabin and they just casually left all their tools lying around. Don't worry. I'll go find them. Oh, look at this big knife. I wonder what it's for. It's all rusty. My partner doesn't take good care of her tools. I'll clean it for them. What is this red stuff? That's probably rust. Don't worry about it. Like himbo behavior, just like, oh man. They just casually left all their tools lying around. Don't worry about that. That would be interesting. I've always like, you know, there's this one thing, right? Like imagine a writer, right? A writer dating a serial killer. That would be such a fun combination. It's just like, hey, it's like, hey, how much blood does somebody have to lose before they pass out? And then the serial killer partner is like, wait 1 second, I'll be right back. And then they leave and they come back the next day, or they'll like mention it offhandedly as they're writing a story, like a murder mystery writer, right? The murder mystery writer and a serial killer. And they're like, man, I'm stuck on this one part. I don't know exactly how realistically like this character would be able to survive after being stabbed in this one specific spot. And then the person's like, oh, well, that's a great question. 1 sec. And they walk out. They come back. They're covered in blood. This isn't my blood, but I have the answer. 2 days. And they're like, wow. Wow, what a fascinating answer. I wonder how you got that. Wouldn't that be fun? I think it's such a cute pairing. Just, you know, just me and my serial killer partner. There is I think I believe a manga kind of like that where one of them is like I think a hitman, an assassin. And the other one I think is like, I forgot what the exact like pairing was, but it was like one person's like a romantic, like one person's an assassin and the other person is like I don't remember if they were a writer or if they were like their hitman target. Have you seen that video that goes like AI in 2050? Dude asks it to erase the people in the background and the AI says done and hands in the picture and it's edited. Is like the implication that the AI killed those people? It's like done, but you didn't change anything. It's like, don't worry, I got rid of them. Yeah. I have not seen that video, but like, yeah. You know what? Oh, that brings me to another topic that I was thinking about. You know, randomizers, generators. I cannot go anywhere online nowadays that's like, you know, back then, way back in the early 2010s, where it was like, oh, how can I, like, I want to create a fantasy world name, right? I want to create a fantasy world name, and I'm gonna like, it's gonna randomly like RNG number, like how those generators used to work, right? They would take a bunch of random letters or like suffixes and prefixes and they would just RNG number them all together to like create random names, mash them together because they're all like they would take different phrases and syllables and mash it together, or they would break up words into other things to create words. Nowadays, I can't go anywhere without it being like an AI generator like thing. It'll just create stuff. It's not based off of like an algorithm or anything. It'll just be AI. It's like, no, what happened to the fun of just like, what happened to the Wattpad video game era of creating your names off a scroll wheel side scroller? It'll be like, choose your first name, and then they'll give you like, are you a male or female? And the guys would all be like, Spike, Spot, Spiffy, Super, Junior, right? Scary, Spooky. And then the last name, the prefixes would be like Pumpkin, Dog, Boy, Ball, stuff like that, right? And then you would just pick online usernames based off of that. And that is how we all made usernames back in the day, because to get around filters, they wanted you to pick names that were previously like created. But nowadays, they're all like, oh, generated image, like AI generated names, and it takes the fun out of it. It's like, that's how I got Boy Toy Male Wife as my username. Yeah, I miss those. Like, I think Pop Tropica did that, Animal Jam did that, Webkins did that. They had like the weirdest names in Webkins. Club Penguin, they let you make your own names, but like when it came to like, I think naming specific pets, you could do it too, like that. But like old internet games, they made you pick names off a slider. And they all have like really weird combinations, like, oh, Sparkle Princess. Sparkle Princess Rainbow. Right? That was like iconic. It's like, yeah, that's like someone's username out there. And the, you know, like people nowadays who in Roblox or whatever, they don't have that experience of creating like the absolute worst names possible. They'll never know what it's like. It just mix random words together. I miss that era. That was fun, because you had certain you know, remember like back when Club Penguin was a thing and everyone was trying to get around the filters? So they would just substitute certain words for other things. That is why we had the whole e-girl era of like the whole XX darkness wolf girl 500 XX. XX emo girl XX. Because the usernames were all taken and they had to be creative. And then you had like the whole aesthetic names too, because they wouldn't allow special characters, so people would use like combinations of X's and O's or numbers. I miss that. It was such a fun era. Nothing like, you know, like going around online forums and then people would just randomly be beefing for like no fun, like no reason at all. They're just bored. They'd be like, yeah, well, you're dumb. And you're dumb. And you're like, clearly this person's like 12. I miss watching bizarre videos and not doubting if they were AR or not. That too. We don't make things anymore for like the sake of shit posts. There's like just stuff out there that you're like, man, what the heck is this? We used to make things out of like, you know, for the hobby, for the sake of like something funny. People make choruses of funny songs now with all AI. Yay! When they take someone's voice and then they train AI off of that voice, and then now it's like, oh, what's his name? Elvis Presley sings WAP. Elvis Presley sings WAP. And it wasn't like somebody doing voice impressions of Elvis Presley, they just took samples of his voice, made a AI version of Elvis Presley, and then they told it to sing WAP. Which is like, it's not fun. It doesn't have the passion. It doesn't have the energy. It's like, it's not the same. It's got no soul. Or, you know, back when people would voice over comics. They would voice over comics and they would do like, oh, I'm going to do like voice acting for this comic. Nowadays they just take like random people, Deku character AI, and they have it read over like scripts and stuff, and then you have a lot of people, like voice actors specifically, losing their jobs because of it, because they were like, oh, why would I hire somebody to voice my script when I can just find some random robot online to read it? It's like, you know, borderline copyright infringement, because that is somebody's voice. It's such a weird feeling too. I think a lot of voice actors themselves are pretty against that. They're like, please do not use my voice on like generating stuff, because it's so scary nowadays as it gets more and more realistic. You could have an AI say something that they clearly did not say, and then they could use it to spread like false information. Like, oh my god, did you believe that this person said this horrible and mean thing? And they're like, no, I never said that, but like someone used AI to make it seem like I said that. And that's basically like slander. That's defamation. It's stealing, yeah, it's just stealing, but it's also can be used for crime. Like, I know nowadays there's like there's a scam or something going around where people are threatening and getting away with basically identity theft. So what they would do is they would call people and they would go, well, I have your I have your kid, your child, your wife, whatever, captive. And then they make like a realistic rendering of that person's voice, and it makes it sound like they're like crying and something, like crying and stuff. And some people panic and they're like, oh my god, they've got like somebody that I care about. And then they say, well, if you want them to like, basically like they ransom them, right? They go, if you want them to be alive, if you want them to like not get hurt, you have to send us $10,000. And then some people panic in the time because they hear somebody that sounds like their loved one's voice, and then they're like, oh my god, I need to like do something right about it. And then they say, don't call the police, and they're like, well, I can't, like, they do it in a way that they rush you. That's how they get you. If they how these situations work is that they get a lot of they make you really stressed so that you're not thinking properly, which is how they get away with a lot of these things, because it comes down to like panic, and when you're panicking you don't think clearly. So the purpose is just like try to get you as emotional as possible so that you're not thinking clearly, and then that they can get you so that they can get away with it. And you have to remember that like you just gotta like pause and think, like, is this real? You know? But yes, It is very unfortunate that there is like a high rate of cybercrimes that occur like this. Am I tired? I'm slowing down. It has been 2 hours and it's what, like 1:30 maybe? I don't know. Do you count the number, like the rate of words per second that I speak at? Wait, I'm gonna see how fast I can talk. How much wood could woodchuck check wood? And when I don't know. How fast can I talk? How fast do I normally talk? I feel like I talk like this at a normal, like I talk. I don't know. I speed up and I slow down, depending on how fast my brain's going, to be honest. If my brain is going like 50 miles an hour and I'm thinking about a lot of things at the same time, I speak like this. But I'm not. Maybe I am, actually. Who knows? If I don't know. Wow. Now that you pointed out, maybe I am. I don't know. Now I lost my train of thought. Now I lost what I was talking about. What was I talking about? You've distracted me. What was I talking about, guys? I forgot. Something about computers. Honestly, I don't remember. Guys, when I talk, I don't think what I'm talking about. Like, I genuinely don't. The stuff that comes out of my mouth, gone. Through my brain, out my mouth, immediately. Don't remember. Maybe some semblance of like thinking, but like absolutely barely cognizant of whatever I just tried to talk about. I don't even know. Okay, I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about, but I don't remember. I think it was like vaguely something about AI or computers? Who knows? Oh, guys, you want to know something really fun, like off topic? I'm gonna change topics because I don't even remember what I was talking about, but do you guys know what tonsil crypts are? Kind of gross topic, but like, do you guys know what tonsil crypts are? Okay, so tonsil crypts, don't look it up. They're kind of like gross. Tonsil crypts are if you guys have tonsils, if you are a tonsil owner. Tonsil owners in the club, rise up. I'm kidding. Can you imagine if like a DJ did that at a club? People with 2 hands! Raise them! Raise them up! People with legs! Jump up and down! You know how they do that at a club, right? They go like, if you've got an ass, shake it! Right? Can you imagine if they did that to somebody? If you've got tonsils, stick your hands down your throat. So anyways, I was learning about tonsil crypts, and basically what a tonsil crypt is that if you have tonsils, you have little folds in your tonsils. If you have tonsils, you have folds. What am I talking about? If you have tonsils, you have little folds in the back of your throat where the tonsils are, right? Food can get trapped in there, and sometimes it crystallizes, and sometimes it gets stuck. So for some people, they get stuck really bad that they have to have like a dentist or a medical procedure done to get them removed, because when they get back there, they rot and then they cause like bad breath, and then they can cause sometimes they can get infected, and that is how you get tonsillitis, because it gets swollen. But for other people, normally most people have like a little bit back there, or like they can like cough them out or something. So I was reading about it, and I was like watching, I don't know why I was watching like removal videos. It was kind of gross. I was like, ugh. I watched like 1 second of one and then I immediately was like, oh no, never mind. But I was like, man, I wonder if I have anything back there. So like absolutely without hesitation, I like stuck my finger back there. And then I was like, man, I don't really feel anything. But anyways, that's the story. That's it. I just wanted to tell you guys about tonsil crypts. I just wanted to tell you guys of the energy of a kindergartner coming home from school and being like, hey, guess what I learned? Guess what I learned today? Guess what I learned 5 minutes ago? Which is, I feel like, the energy of this stream. Like, a lot of my streams, every single time I stream, I always tell you guys, I'm like, hey guys, guess how, like, you know what cool thing I've learned today? Like, that's how I feel when I stream. I'm like, guys, I learned something really cool today and I want to tell you. That is the energy. Cow fun facts. Germans have trained cows to use the toilet. Like a litter box? Like a litter box? Like they take cows to the litter box? That's fun. I don't know how that works. You know you can litter train a lot of animals actually. You can litter train rabbits, you can litter train cats, you can litter train not fish. But you can litter train birds. And you can put birds in a diaper. Which is what people who own birds around the house do, and to like prevent birds from like pooping all over their floor. But yes, you can put diapers on birds. Some people put diapers on dogs, you know? If their dog is a puppy and it's not litter trained, I've seen some people like just straight up put a diaper on a dog. Which is like, you look over and you're like, oh my god. That is not a dog, that is a human being, that is a child. That's cool. I don't know how or like what the purpose, other than being, I guess, easy cleanup, would be to like the motives for litter training a cow. Do you think pigs can be litter trained? Probably. Pigs are smart. I think pigs are smart. Maybe if you try hard enough, anything's possible. Guys, you know the what's it called? Have you seen, there is this there's a bunch of animals on like TikTok or like on the internet where you have these little sound buttons, right? There are these sound buttons that exist. This is like the weirdest version of pillow talk. I am now realizing this just feels like pillow talk. POV, you're trying to go to bed, but I keep you up at night and I'm trying to like tell you about these fun facts. I'm like, guys, imagine like, hey, psst, imagine you are locked in the woods with a cannibal. That's what this feels like. Do you think we could train beavers to take engineering classes? I don't know. Probably not. I think beavers are too instinctually, not because they don't want to learn, but they're just too instinctually focused on like making houses that they would not care about people. You could try. I don't know if they listen. Anyways, you know they're on the internet, right? There are these animals where you can get them a set of buttons. You can get like a set of buttons with sounds on them. You can sound button train your pet to associate certain buttons and sounds with phrases or words, right? So there is a lot of animals out there where people have done this, and their animals have just socially just become aware, and it's kind of scary. Like, they have taught them, if you press this button means food, this button means pet, this button means walk, this button means, like, I don't know, closet, or like I love you, or something like that. People have just button trained their pets, and the pets learn what those buttons mean, and they can effectively communicate. It's like talking with a robot, but they're alive. They can't use words, but they've learned to associate what buttons mean what, and it's so scary. Like, it's fascinating, but it's also kind of scary at the same time, because you're like, oh man. Animals are learning math. Animals are learning language. Can you imagine, like... It's also really funny too, because some of them just use it for like really dumb reasons. They're like, they press the button and they're like outside danger, and then they go outside and they're like, what are you talking about? What is it? And then it's like raining. And they're like, don't like, and they're like, yeah, I know. And they're so funny. It's so cute. They're like, they're expressing their feelings. So instead of, like, you know, when cats meow at people and you try to figure out, like, what is it, boy, what's wrong? They can go over to the buttons and they can press them. Cats press the angry button quite often. Yeah. I think cats are given privileges, and then they use it to ask for food all the time. They're like, no, you ate like 5 minutes ago. They're like, no, I'm hungry. But I think that's such a cool idea. I wonder, like, what the heck went through somebody's mind when they first developed that. They were like, you know what, I kind of wish I'm going to teach my pet to associate certain buttons with, like, certain things, so that, like, if they learn, they can talk to me and they can communicate, which I think is pretty useful in terms of like veterinary and stuff, because then you can be like, one of the major struggles when it comes to veterinary medicine is that they can't communicate with you and you don't know what's wrong with them. So, and also a lot of times in animals, their predatory instincts, a lot of them try to hide their pain, which makes it very, very difficult to tell what's wrong, especially in cats and birds. So when they notice that something's wrong or they're in a lot of pain, a lot of times they will just distance themselves, or they will go and hide. And you have to really look at their body language to tell, like, what's wrong with them. So depending on, like, if you have developed a level of trust, you want to establish that you are somebody that they can go to for help. But, like, you know, a lot of times they kind of just, they just kind of go hide. Which I think is really sad, that when cats, you know, like, sad fun fact, when cats pass away, a lot of them just go and hide somewhere. Like, they just pass away quietly and they just hide in some little area. Because in the wilderness, that's what they do. Like, they don't want anything that they passed away to like catch. Like, they want to infect other things. So their instincts is just to, like, oh, when they pass away, they're gonna go somewhere else. Or even, like, I don't know, what a mood. Like, they're like, I'm in pain, I want to be left alone. I think that's really interesting. But if with the buttons, right, you could teach your animal, like, oh, this means head, this means whatever. So if they tell you they're in pain, they can tell you what it is exactly, and it would help a lot. Like, oh yeah, my stomach hurts, and you try to figure out, like, why does your stomach hurt? And I can tell you. My cat looks at me like I'm stupid after not super food for the 6th time in a day. Yeah. They press the button and it just says food. 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 And you're like, no, you've already eaten today. And they're like, food. Oh, they're so funny. I want a cat. I know I said it before, but like, man. It's like he thinks I can't understand what he wants. He looks so confused. Aww. You gotta feed him. Give him what he wants. Give the little man what he wants. You know, what's it called? He has plenty of treats. Not enough. More. I find it so funny that people have lots of stories about their pets. They're like, my cat brings home random, like, live insects and mice and just drops them at my feet and watches me catch them because it thinks it's funny. I think that's hilarious. Can you imagine? Your cat being like, oh, I'm gonna get my human something interesting. I'm gonna get something fun. I think cats are so funny. They're like, cats live in colonies. Traditionally, they live in colonies and they live in like little, habitats. So in their brain, they... In their brain, they think like you're like a part of them. They think that you're a cat too. You're just like a really big cat. And they also just think that you really suck at hunting. So... I've always wondered, like, you know how cats, like, when they communicate, right? A lot of animals communicate with their body. I wonder how, like, they just... I don't know how they think that we communicate with them. Because we don't have ears, we don't have tails. I wonder how they read us. Maybe hands. My cat brings cockroaches lately. I think my neighbor has an infant. Oh. That is not something that would be fun to deal with. Your cat's like, here you go. I found this something. I saw this one, meow, meow. We finally discovered the secret that I have hidden in chat. Meow. Yeah. Yeah, cats only meow to humans because cats, normally when cats communicate with other cats, right? When cats communicate with other cats, they communicate with their body. They use a lot of body language. But with us, with like humans, they realize that humans don't understand their body language. So they've just devolved to just scream. Quite literally, they've just like basically just A human cannot understand me. I am just going to scream at them. I'm going to yell really loudly. And hope that they understand. So that's why they meow. My friend has a cat, and my friend's cat just yells at her all the time. And it's just always about food. Like, those cats have her on a schedule. It's actually insane. It's really funny. It's like, they meow at her, and they know exactly when, like, food time is. Like, she's on autopilot too. She's like sleeping. And then they'll like just start meowing really loudly and she's like, oh, it's 9 p.m. It's time to feed them. And she'll like get up, go feed them, and then go back to sleep. And they're just like, what the heck? So it's like, who here is like on schedule? Mine slaps my face at 8 a.m. until I feed him. Oof. Yeah, hers just meow at her really loudly. But, I think she's got them trained to like not do that. To not like bite or slap. Though they do meow, they're really loud. Meowing would not wake me up. Wow. Your cat has learned to just be like, time to wake up. I don't know why cats like some people always tell me they're like, oh yeah, my cat like sits on my face. Like I wake up and there's just cat sitting on my face. He does it kind of playfully and he does it if I set up an alarm. Huh. I wonder if your cat has associated the sound of the alarm. Like, not waking up, here you go. That's kind of one of the reasons why I want a cat. Like, there's no other animal out there who's like as like on time as a cat would be. It's really funny. Be like, you know what? I know there's some people out there, like I remember reading this one post about somebody who trained their cat to like, they would forget to take their medicine, right? They would feed their cat at the same time they would take their medicine so that the cat has begun to associate like food with this certain time. So when they meow at them for food, they're like, oh yeah, it's like, it's time for me to also take my medicine when I feed this cat. And it's like a daily thing. It's like, oh yeah, it is food time. It's also medicine time. They will wake you up. I feel like that'd be great. Maybe. If you ever need a reminder, just be like, just give your cat a treat at a certain time every day. And your cat will remind you. It's better than an alarm. It's better than an alarm. An alarm will snooze, a cat will not. A cat will not forget. They will just constantly be like, it is time for this. I need it. I must have it. Man, I really want a cat. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I want a cat. I want a cat and I want to name it like Soup. I want to name a cat like Soup or something. Like, yeah, that's my cat, Soup. My cat, Soup. Soup, yeah, Soup. I don't know, I always feel like random names for pets is so fun. Like the Coast channel. Meow. Soup, alcoholic soup, alcohol, soup. Alcoholic soup is good. Yes. You're really like meowing. Do you have anything you would like to share with the class? Perhaps. What? Yes. We've got so many animal sound effects in chat or on stream. Low key, this is just becoming. It is becoming like a zoo. Do the fox laugh? What is the fox laugh? I only know though. What does the fox say? Ding 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 ding. I don't know, Google. Foxes don't really laugh though. You want to know like what coyotes sound like? Coyotes sound really scary. Coyotes sound like screaming. You ever like live somewhere and you just hear coyote? Foxes go heh heh heh. I don't know, I don't think I've ever heard a fox make noise. Then again, I don't think I've ever seen a fox in person. Which is weird because I think I've seen like almost every single type of wildlife you would find in a forest, except for foxes. Like I have seen, well, not bears either. I have seen deer. I have seen rabbits. I have seen owls. I have seen hummingbirds. I have seen possums. I've seen chipmunks. I've seen squirrels. I've seen like woodpeckers and all types of birds, but like I don't know if I've seen mice or not. I think I've just seen chipmunks, but never foxes. Which is interesting. I don't think they'd be very soft to touch, honestly. Same thing with wolves. Also, it's like 2 AM. I think I need to go to bed. I have yapped for too long. Honestly, we might have cooked a little too hard. We might have yapped a little too long. But I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out with me. Let me go look at people. I'm sorry, let me go look at people to read. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like, you know. Yeah, let's go people watching. Let's go people watching. You know how weird that is to say? Let's go like look at people. I'm gonna send you guys over to Karu because Karu is streaming.